The reason why I chose this place is because it's very comfortable and cozy compared to other places that I've been to. The environment is very hot and sweaty and always has a bad smell after I leave the place. So I've watched your videos about the environmental solution for F&B, and I realized that the shop you visited, even though the place is with air conditioning, but the surrounding temperature wasn't comfortable, and I can feel that it's a bit warm and I even sweat a lot.
Actually, it's quite a common practice, and as well is a local common practice to the business owner that normally they will just appoint an architect or an interior designer. So most of them either they appoint an architect or interior designer. As well, they will appoint a main contractor, an aircon contractor, and a kitchen supplier. So in this process, the aircon contractor or the kitchen supplier, they might lack of their skill, experience, knowledge, understanding the principle of balancing. So example like the steaming section, where they do not have the exhaust system and they do not also provide the makeup air. So in this situation, it will contribute the heat in the dining area.
So referring to the steaming area, there are steamers and coffee making area whereby the heat generated is very high. How do you settle this issue?
Okay, this is a very good question that you posed to me. But first of all, they do not have a proper design, and without a proper design or engineering and the makeup air. Secondly, they can actually, there's another option they can apply is the evaporative air cooler system. It's not a new technology, but it can workable to apply into the steaming area and the coffee making area.
So the bakery room, there are steamers and fridge. I can feel that the heat is very much higher than at the dining area. So how do you settle this issue? Will the heat flow through the dining area?
Okay, first of all, the bakery section is because first of all the kitchen supplier have applied the wrong type of kitchen. They're using the wrong application fan. They use the wrong application fan. And this type of fan, normally they have a very low CFM and the static pressure. So what do you mean of this type of example? Like when you purchase a car, normally you want to know what is the horsepower. When a car travel from point A to point B, you need to know what is the horsepower you want to purchase. And a car go uphill, is the torque. The higher the torque, the car can more power to travel. So it's same the fan application. When we select for the customer, we must know what is the CFM and the static pressure. This type of fan is not the right application to be used into the bakery section. And besides just using a proper design or using the makeup air, or we call it the replacement air, right? We can apply the evaporative cooler system into the kitchen. So this application means that the evaporative system, it extract the outside air, reduce the temperature, and supply into the kitchen. And the exhaust to pull it out, will extract out from the bakery section. So it's all about we're talking about engineering design.
So far, as per my knowledge, most kitchen areas are very humid, wet and smoky, and all the kitchen staffs are sweaty, especially for the chefs, because they are the nearest to the cooking range. So So as that particular is the hottest of all.
It's quite common to our local business owner, I mean the F&B owner, where they don't believe and they do not practice to engage the right expertise people to plan ahead. What do you mean by that? That like just now you mentioned that the chef in front, where they have most of the heat, who they feel the heat have been attacked to them. So in the process, the owner, the F&B owner, suppose he need to engage architect with M&E consultant, with the kitchen equipment consultant, and like us as the EAC consultant. But I need to classify very important feedback to you or answer for you. Now, most of the local people are unable to identify between the kitchen supplier and the kitchen equipment consultant. Kitchen supplier, it means they don't only supply the equipment, the kitchen equipment to the owner. But kitchen equipment consultant, it means that the consultant will gather the information from the owner, the type of menu, then be able to plan and design into the kitchen the type of equipment. So it's important that the local people need to understand the differentiate between the kitchen supplier and the kitchen equipment consultant. So it's important that kitchen equipment consultant have to work hand in hand with us. So when we design that, during the process of design, we ensure two methods to reduce the smoky and the humid inside the kitchen. So one is the exhaust hood, right? In front they put in the fresh air to block off the heat. That's number one. Number two is from the chef, the air have a strong replacement air from the back. So that replacement air will push all the way to the hood. So this is a two type of method to be applied into the kitchen. Actually, end of the day, is the most important that the F&B owner must engage us to be in the team.
I found that those exhaust chimney were installed high up to the air, and wouldn't it be very inconvenient to other owners in the upper floors?
This is for sure, because that if they're using the conventional system, whatever is generated inside the kitchen, like the heat, the smell, the oil, let's say the chimney or the exhaust is raised up to the fourth floor. So whatever the discharge point, they will directly discharge the smoke, the heat, and the smell to that building area. So we'll end up that floor, the wall, or including all the area, will have a very high oil stain, and the smell will remain for a long time.
How effective can this kind of design work, the high chimney versus the electrostatic air cleaner?
Okay, this is a good question. Number one, if you use the conventional system, let's say you need to channel all the way to the fourth floor. So you need a very strong, powerful fan. You need a very high CFM and a very high static pressure. So naturally will increase the high energy consumption to the F&B owner. If they switch to use the electronics air cleaner, first of all, the owner, the F&B owner, we will design for him. We will design that with a lower CFM, lower static. So it means that it will help the F&B owner to save a lot of the energy consumption. So that is the difference by using the conventional system and the air cleaner, and as well is have not just lesser energy consumption, but at the same time it reduces pollution to the environment. and better air quality for the city.
Will the oil stain and smoke remain inside the duct and the external concrete wall along the chimney? How to solve this kind of problem?
Okay, if you talk about the conventional system, for sure, whatever you do the cooking inside the kitchen, the oil particles, after a period of time, the oil it will remain inside the ducting, and then as well the oil will be attached to the exhaust fan. So after a period of time, because the exhaust duct or the chimney, because of the oil volume inside the chimney, the chambers will become smaller and smaller, and because of the exhaust fan have been a layer of oil attached on the fin, so it will become less and less efficient. But however, if they use air cleaner, if selecting the right type of air cleaner, you will able whatever it do the cooking in the kitchen will be collected inside the air cleaner. So after the air cleaner is clean air. So that is a way to solve the problem.
I also found that there were a lot of exhaust channels dripping oil along the joints, and those drip oils are dark in color and very slippery. Actually, it's very dangerous for the people who are passing by the walkway.
Okay, first of all is our local people. I mean the local who do the kitchen ducting. They do not comply the international standard, and secondly, they don't use the EAC. EAC stands for the electronics air cleaner, and they also do not conduct schedule on maintenance. So that is the cost.
Also, the one thing that I really don't like and need to be very careful is either I'm passing by the kitchen or going to their toilets, their floor is always very slippery.
It's because, example, in a kitchen, whatever you exhaust, whatever you replace, so if the air circulation is good, naturally the floor will dry up.
Based on your experience, what can you help them to overcome this kind of issue?
To overcome this type of issue, you must get the right engineering design. That is very, very important, and the right balancing between the positive air and the negative air, and then it will solve the kitchen inside the stuffing and the heaties inside in the kitchen.
Based on your past experience, do the local government and those local F&B owners have any knowledge regarding the benefits of kitchen electrostatic air cleaner, and how does the function be able to reduce temperature and save energy?
No, it takes time to provide the information and education. Example, like we need to create awareness. We have to together with the local authority to create the awareness and provide training, provide seminar.
Which country's common practice uses the evaporative air cooler?
Pardon, you come again?
Sorry, can I ask which country's common practice uses the evaporative air cooler?
Okay, actually evaporative air cooler actually is not new in the market, only new to our state here of Sabah. Actually, evaporative cooler was very popular, started from Australia, then to Mecca, Dubai, Middle East, even like in KL, in Singapore, quite commonly used in their SME, the small medium industry factory. It's quite common. So actually evaporative cooler actually is in the market more than 20 years.
So why do these countries use evaporative air cooler application?
because it's able to help you to reduce the temperature. Instead, you're using the existing old technology. You replace replacement air from outside. Actually, you don't make any temperature change by applying the evaporative cooler, because when you extract the air from outside, the evaporative able to reduce the temperature. So when the air supply into the premises, the hot air will be pulled out. So it's a repeat job. Reduce temperature, go into the premises, hot air pull out. And at the same time is the air change. It means that, what do you mean air change? If let's say this is the air volume, 1 hour we got 60 minutes. So we will say that we will do the survey and do the calculation and design. So we will decide 1 hour inside this factory. 1 hour is 60 minutes. 4 air change, 6 air change, 8 air change, 12 air change, then maybe more. So it means that in 1 hour, how many air change you want to replace the existing temperature inside the hot air and with the reduced temperature air volume.
So there are some restaurants that are doing steamboats and barbecue. The environment is very smelly and uncomfortable as there are a lot of smokes around the place.
Okay, however, because most of the local F&B, or like you mentioned on the BBQ, however, because they hardly don't understand that in a BBQ you should need, we call it the makeup air. In a restaurant, because it's fully concealed, confined, so when the aircon is running, when you do your BBQ inside, it keeps generate smell, the heat, and then the oil particles. So it will keep heavy and heavier inside the restaurant BBQ. The solution is you need to supply fresh air from outside with the evaporative cooler, reduce the temperature. Whatever just now been generated, the BBQ, the smell, the heat, and the oil particle will be extract out from the restaurant, and you keep supplying with the replacement air, so it can help the aircon to work hand in hand in both systems together, more effective, save energy. So on top of that, to local is a new idea, but it's workable.
As you can see, some restaurants or kopitiam have steaming pot inside the dining hall or area.
It's a SAM that they do not have the makeup air. They did not apply the new system like evaporative air cooler that can save energy and more effective. It takes time to provide the information and the knowledge to the local.
Will these items create significant heat whereby to neutralize the cool air from air conditioning?
Yes, it's workable. It means that because aircon is using the same air volume to cool, but when you're applying the evaporative cooler, it reduce the stress to the aircon system. So it means that if the evaporative cooler can continuously supply lower temperature and reduce the temperature inside the premises in the restaurant, it means that the aircon have lesser stress. It means that the compressor in 1 hour 60 minutes he will not continue running for the 60 minutes. So it will give the compressor more time to rest. So it will consume lesser energy. So evaporative cooler, because it's only run by the evaporative, the water type system, so this will be the more effective way. It can be merged two systems together, and I had done a few design in local here, that the central kitchen use the air cleaner, the electronics air cleaner, with the evaporative cooler. We combine together, and the result came out was tremendous.
Okay, Mr. Chong, here are some personal questions for you.
Okay.
What was the biggest challenge you faced when you started the kitchen electrostatic air cleaner in the local market?
Wow, this is a challenge question from you. It's a new idea in local, where the market not ready to adopt the system, and local is not ready to accept the electronic system, and it takes time for the local to accept the kitchen, the positive air and the negative air, because in the past they used to, if the fan is not strong, let's say in the old fashion, they always say, oh, my exhaust fan is 2 horsepower, not strong enough. I increased to 6 horsepower, 8 horsepower. They only extract. They didn't realize that in the kitchen, whatever you extract, you must replace it. So it takes time for them to understand. And another point is the business owner, you mean the local F&B owner, they are unable to differentiate between the kitchen supplier and the kitchen equipment consultant. They are unable to differentiate because there is a difference. So the actual fact, in every restaurant or every F&B outlet, they need to engage is the kitchen equipment consultant, and we need to work hand in hand with them. We need each other. We need each other to work hand in hand, and it takes time to let the market to be mature.
How do you foresee future kitchen electrostatic air cleaner in the local market?
In the knowledge of my awareness, we need to. Ôi, 睇過一浸聽啊！睇過浸聽啊！眼見中嗰條浸聽人浸。
How do you overcome the obstacle?
The way to overcome the obstacle is we need to provide training to the training and seminar to the architect, the interior designer, the college, the M&E engineer, including the management cooperation, as well the building manager.
How do you foresee future kitchen electrostatic air cleaner in the local market?
In my knowledge, the awareness of using air cleaner, we able to foresee most of the local architect and the M&E consultant, they already incorporated into their design. In future, we can see more and more people will accept on the EAC, it means the electronics air cleaner, and it will be very, very soon will be very popular. And I also found there is a number of players in the market.
Is it possible to apply the electrostatic air cleaner and evaporative air cooler into the kitchen?
Yes, it's possible. It's possible. It's a workable idea.
Can you explain more on evaporative air cooler application into the kitchen or any other industries?
Okay, this is a good question. Put it this way, actually evaporative air cooler, we already shifting not just on the F&B, we also already shift into the SME. As well, we already moving into the agriculture. So these two areas is a new market. It is common practice in Australia or even in Middle East, where they apply into agriculture, even apply into their SME. Even if you talk about SME, most of the West Malaysia, most of the factory. I can recall one of the job was the Toyota assembly plant. The whole Toyota assembly plant are using the evaporative air cooler. So it's new in our local here, but it's not new to most of the country like India, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, including in Middle East. But it's new in KK.
Once again, thank you, Mr. Chong. I'm grateful for interviewing with you today.
Thank you, thank you.
You have given us a very clear, innovative information about the indoor air circulation and kitchen air filtration issue by using the evaporative air cooler and electrostatic air cleaner. Thank you for watching this interview, and we hope to see you soon.